Okay, this is an episode of All Hell Now. It's really a follow up from the financial thing that I did. I did the two parts on because one of the predictions and the warnings in that particular financial drop that I gave was a cyber security attack. Okay, now that came from um, the Fed chairman that one of the threats that there would be an economic crash would be a cybersecurity attack. All right. So, lo and behold, a it hit headline news 2 days ago that that's exactly what happened. Shout out to Sis Corley. I saw this on her timeline and I'm like, what? Thank you, sis. So shout out to you. So let me just real quick read to you. This is out of Newsweek. They're saying this was on the 21st. This was released on the 21st. China calls U.S. biggest empire of hacking after being accused. Actually, I don't like this one because they didn't give enough information for me. I'm going to go with Yahoo News. China's government tied to new hack attacks on U.S. government and business. The Chinese Communist Party is believed to be responsible for newly found hack attacks on the U.S. government, businesses, and American infrastructure, cyber security company Mandiant said Wednesday. So pay attention. The government, we get that. It is what it is. American infrastructure. So anytime I hear that, I think about the grid system, the electric energy grid system, and I also think about the water supply. Okay, why it matters. This is the third major cyber attack breach to hit the U.S. in recent months, including two in March, blame on hackers linked to China's government, one targeting 30,000 U.S. victims, including small businesses and local governments, the other hitting Microsoft. All right, and just so y'all know, Microsoft is riddled. It is riddled with bugs. I personally feel that it's easily hackable and it makes it very vulnerable because they're always sending out these doggone upgrades and patches that need to be done. Plus, Microsoft is built on programming code that nobody knows what it is, only Microsoft knows what it is. So bottom line, just from experience in that kind of tech arena, Microsoft to me is very hackable. The other, like I call some of them legacy systems and some of them just technology that has been pushed to the side that was a much, 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 much better fit was chosen over, was passed over rather, and Microsoft was pushed to the forefront. All right. So Charles, which leads me to believe, not believe, just to point out, and I've always said this, how the hell Bill Gates gonna try to tell somebody about some viruses? And, we kind of laugh in the tech community. Y'all never figured out how to solve viruses on the shitty software that you put out there. But anyway, okay, let me stay focused. All right, so Charles Carmichael, a senior vice president of Mandiant, told NBC News Wednesday, we're starting to see a resurgence of espionage activity from the Chinese government. Driving the news, the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency said in a statement Tuesday that the breach was affecting U.S. government agencies, critical infrastructure entities, and other private sector organizations. Zoom in. Carmichael said in an email statement that Mandiant recently responded to multiple security incidents involving the exploitation of Pulse Secure VPN appliance, which is used by businesses for remote work. The breach affected dozens of organizations, including government agencies, financial entities. Did not Fed Chairman Powell said that a cyber attack on financial institutions was a threat, and it could be one of the reasons that halt or crash the system? And defense companies in the US and Europe, he said. We suspect these intrusions align with data and intelligence collection objectives by China, Carmichael added. Per Carmichael, the hackers bypassed the multi-factor authentication on Pulse Secure devices to access the as yet unnamed victims' network, accessing these sites for several months without being detected. We believe that multiple cyber espionage groups are using these exploits as tools, and there are some similarities between portions of this activity and a Chinese actor we call APT5. And so it's just saying on another note, or I guess a footnote, President Biden took office a month after cybersecurity firm SolarWinds announced it was hacked in December in a breach that was later discovered to be part of a massive cyber attack by suspected Russian hackers on multiple government agencies and U.S. firms. In response, the Biden administration imposed sweeping sanctions targeting the Russian economy earlier this month. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro announced earlier this month a program designed to counter online attacks. Okay, so they made this hacking announcement Wednesday. If you're watching the financial markets, they are diving, okay, which we predicted. Okay, so again, what you're kind of witnessing is the collapse of their financial system. All right. So I told you in a long dissertation that I did in the two-part series on the economy that they're going to use something as the scapegoat of why the economy crashed yet again and why they have to stand up a new system. All right. So just pay attention. To me, this is no coincidence that the Fed Reserve Powell went on 60 Minutes. He gave a very powerful interview. I was really, really surprised at the amount of information that he gave up, laying out the threats. But then it hit me, wait a minute, this is disclosure. And then here we are a week later, maybe 2 weeks. There was a quote, cyber attack. Pay attention, family. So I'm not going to keep this long. I wish you well on this happy Friday. Peace and love.